it is time to voice out my opinion because many youth have been asking me what is the opinion of Nigerian youth on this issue of fuel subsidy removal. And I look and I consider it critically in the important or the advantages and disadvantages of this fuel subsidy. Actually, when we are talking about the subsidy, it's a kind of money that the federal government is paying to the NNPC in order to get a relief for Nigerian while purchasing or buying the fuel at every fuel station. But now the government has realized that it's spent a huge amount of money on this fuel and no benefit has been more, or no benefit is much drive toward the life of Nigeria. That is why the federal government has decided to remove this subsidy in order to make money and use it for other projects. And other side, or on the other hand, it has its own side effects on Nigeria. The Nigeria has fully or mainly depend on this fuel subsidy because the fuel has been subsidized before, but now the subsidy has been removed. So the hardship now is turned to the Nigerian toward the burden has returned to the Nigerian. Now whatever you are doing, it must involve transportation, whether you can transport yourself or your goods and services. Maybe you are producing or you are what? Selling or you are trading. So whatever you are doing now, it must involve what? It must involve what? Fuel usage. You must use fuel. So that in that essence, you must experience this kind of hardship. You must experience this kind of hardship. That is, everything will be what? The general prices of goods and services will be increased. That is, the inflation will take place. Why? Because fuel is the word lifeblood of every activity. That is, being it production, being it trading, being it moving, carrying people or goods and service from one place to another. So many things are using machine. So that machine must be what? Must be using fuel. So that is why this general hardship must what? Must touch Nigerian everywhere, every angle, because the good you are using, the product and the service you are using, what it has linkages with what? With fuel usage. So that's why the Nigerian are experiencing this hardship. Even this fuel subsidy has been removed. This money cannot much more. I cannot say it can. It will not. It will not be much more benefiting Nigeria, because we have seen many cases of what? Corruption and what? Corruption and what? And what? And public embezzlement. Yes, the people will be interested and be given what? The public property or financial management, and they misuse that public resources for their personal use or for their personal enrichment instead of Nigerian to benefit. So that's why even this money has been what? Has been gathered or has been saved. I think it will be very difficult for Nigerian to benefit, because the history has shown that we have seen different cases or different record of corruption and embezzlement of public resources in Nigeria. That is why the Nigerian are what? The education now is what? Is very expensive. And look at how Nigerians can enjoy the basic necessity of life in Nigeria are not are not both being provided. Look at the electricity, look at the road network, look at the basic education. The people are not getting it. Look at our primary school and secondary school are very old, dilapidated. The teachers are not available, and they are not even the little one that we have on the ground. They are not competent. They are not well trained. They are not ready to give what they are what they have, because of what lack of motivation from the government. Even their basic salary sometimes is very difficult for them to get. Talk less of other words incentive. Talk less of other incentive or motivation. So that's why everything in Nigeria has been damaged. Everything has been what degraded. So you see, that is why we are not going forward. If you are looking at the developed countries, the underdeveloped and developing, so there are many indices that you can use to measure the level of development in Nigeria. You see, if you want to know that the country is developing, you should take God, the economy of the Nigeria. Then you should take the what, health sector. Then you should take what, the agricultural sector, and then you should take the what, the mortality rates. You should take the educational sector, and many sectors will be put into consideration so that you should know whether the country is progressing or retrogressing. So I think Nigeria now is got independence since 1960. It's about 64 years now, but we are not moving forward. So we have been independent. Uh, we have independent, but our leaders, they are the one that are independent. But the Nigerian, that is the masses, they did not get their independence up to now. There are many kind of exploitation. There are many kind of brutality. There are many kind of what, the fundamental human rights are not respected. The rule of law are not respected. Most of the leaders are above the law. They can do whatever they like, contrary to the rule and regulation or contrary to the provision of the Nigerian constitution. And nobody can what? Nobody can temper it. Even the court judgment are not binding or are not applying on these leaders. You will see that a leader has been caught, but not any punishment can be what? Can be rendered or can be taken out to this kind of violation of some specific or some certain rules or some certain constitutional provision that have been violated by what? By the leaders or by the Nigerian. So this has created the room for Nigerian to continue disrespecting this law of this country and continue doing all kind of criminal activities. Look at this country. Every year or every 2 or 1 year, we can get a new kind of or a new name of a criminal group or association. We have experienced a kind of Metazine. We have experienced a kind of Boko Haram. We have experienced a kind of militant activities. We have experienced a kind of kidnappers. We have experienced a kind of different cases now. Look at this head and farmers conflicts everywhere, because Nigeria is a diverse nation with different ethnicity and words and tradition. We have to live in peace. That is unity in diversity. Despite the fact that we have different diversity, but we're supposed to live in peace and harmony. That is Nigerian for us. So I pray for the Nigerian youth to be very patriotic, to be very sincere, to be very faithful in their activities, so that the Nigeria can what? Can move forward by having a good leaders, by avoiding kind of corruption, by avoiding kind of all criminal activities. But sometimes this government is encouraging youth to involve in all kind of criminal activities. I know in Nigeria about 16 years now, no kind of employment opportunity has been provided, because many people we have know that they have retired, they reach the age of retirement. Some have what had been dead, and all these vacancies has not been replaced. If to say that that vacancy is going to be replaced, it will not be publicly announced. It will just be silently replace that place, because they use that opportunity, because they have the power, they have the